He has options. But there's one thing you can do just once that flips the entire dynamic and makes you the one he can't stop thinking about. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped trying at all. The illusion of options and the secret shift he can't ignore. He has options. He always has. The kind of man people are drawn to. For his charm, his confidence, his way of making you feel like you're the only one in the room. But here's what no one tells you. It's never about how many options he has. It's about the one energy he can't shake. And that energy is you. After you make one quiet, powerful shift, you see, most people spend their energy trying to be chosen, trying to prove they're good enough, attractive enough, easy to love. They perform, they shape shift, they lean in too far, too soon. And the irony? The more you reach, the more he retreats, not because you're not enough, but because your energy says you don't believe you are. You think love is something you earn, but real love, real desire, real obsession, it's not earned. It's sensed, it's felt, and the only way he'll ever feel it is when you stop trying to give him a reason to. This is the moment that shifts everything. The moment you stop chasing and start choosing, not him, yourself. That's the one thing, the one act, the one energetic pivot that creates the kind of imprint no other woman, no matter how beautiful or available, can replicate. And here's why. Because every other person he's ever been with was still searching for proof they were lovable, still needing his attention to validate their worth, still hoping he would notice them enough to finally feel like they mattered. But you made him feel something entirely different. You made him feel like you didn't need him to feel whole, like you'd already chosen you, like his presence was a privilege, not a lifeline. And that energy isn't just attractive. It's unforgettable because it's rare, and rare things stay lodged in the memory, in the body, in the soul. He won't say it. He might not even understand it, but something in him knows. You aren't like the others. You won't try to prove your worth. You already know it. And that's the beginning of the obsession. Because in a world full of people trying to be chosen, you quietly chose yourself, and he felt it. When you stop seeking to be chosen and start choosing yourself, there's a moment that doesn't look like much from the outside. No spotlight, no grand speech, no dramatic exit, just silence. Just you, finally. Choosing yourself. It usually happens in the quiet. After the last overextended text. After the last time you waited for him to reach out first. After the last time you caught yourself overthinking what to say, what to wear, how to be. You don't slam the door. You don't block him. You just stop bending. You stop shrinking to fit someone else's comfort. You stop editing yourself into someone more palatable. You return to you, to the parts of you that were always enough. Before he ever entered the room, that's the moment he feels it. Not consciously, not with words, but somatically in his body. Suddenly, something's different. The chase has reversed. The energy has shifted. He doesn't feel your pull anymore. He feels your absence. And in that space where you used to try, he starts to try. Because people always notice the moment you stop trying to be noticed. They feel the silence where your seeking used to live. And for a man who's used to being the center of attention, used to women adjusting their light to fit his shadow, this new version of you, this untouchable self-ownership, it stuns him, it haunts him, and slowly it pulls him in. Because here's what no one teaches you. Love isn't about how much you give. It's about how rooted you are when you choose to give it. When you speak with softness, but not desperation. When you offer presence, but not your peace. When you love without abandoning yourself. That's the paradox. When you stop trying to make him choose you, he starts to wonder why he didn't already. Because something deep in the male psyche awakens. When he senses a woman who doesn't need him, but would still let him in, if it felt safe. And that's what he's drawn to. Not your effort, not your availability, not how much you sacrifice. He's drawn to your center, to the way you hold yourself, to the way you don't chase, but also don't close off. You've become the rarest energy he's encountered, a woman who knows her worth and refuses to trade it for breadcrumbs, no matter how charming the hand offering them. And now he's not just looking at you, he's wondering about you, haunted by the feeling that you know something he doesn't. And he's right. You know the truth. You never needed him to want you. You just needed you to finally want yourself. Why he can't forget you, even if he doesn't understand why. It starts slowly. He might not even notice it at first. Just a flicker of thought in the middle of the day. Your name crossing his mind when nothing triggered it. And then it happens again. In the quiet moments. In the late hours. When the noise dies down. And all that's left is his own mind. He feels you. But here's the truth. He doesn't miss your messages. He doesn't miss your compliments, your laughter, your availability. He misses your energy, the way you made him feel seen without trying, the way you held space for him without losing space for yourself, the way your presence didn't beg, but still invited. You weren't just a woman he dated. You were an experience. And that is why he can't forget you, even if he's with someone else. Even if he tells himself it's over. Even if his ego tries to convince him he walked away for a reason. Something deeper remembers. Not his pride, not his logic, but his unconscious. Carl Jung said that what we repress doesn't disappear. It waits. In the shadow, in the unspoken, in the unmet longing. And when you chose yourself, when you stopped reaching, he didn't just lose your attention. He lost the version of himself he only knew when he was around you. Because your self-possession awakened something in him. Not just attraction, but a mirror. You mirrored the man he wanted to be. Grounded, present, clear, whole. And now that you're gone, he doesn't just miss you. He misses the reflection of himself that he could only see when you were near. That's why your absence lingers. Not because of words left unsaid, but because of the frequency you left behind. You imprinted something onto his nervous system, a sense of what it feels like to be in the presence of someone who doesn't need to prove their worth, because they know it. That kind of memory doesn't fade. It lives in the body, in the soul, in the parts of him that still haven't learned how to speak truth to his own desires. He can't explain it to his friends, to his new partner, to himself. But when he's lying awake at night, when he's scrolling through the highlight reels of his life, your image flickers in the background, not as a ghost, but as a standard, because now he knows what it feels like to be around someone who isn't waiting to be chosen, someone who has already chosen themselves. And no matter how many women cross his path, they'll feel the comparison. They'll feel the echo. They'll feel the shadow of a love that didn't beg to stay, but also never really left, becoming the one he wants without ever needing to convince him. You never raised your voice. You never made a scene. You never begged him to see your worth. You just stopped forgetting it. And somehow, that quiet reclaiming of yourself was louder than anything you could have said. You see, you don't become the one he wants by being the most available. You become the one he wants by being the most aligned with yourself. That alignment, that's what turns heads without effort. That's what makes people notice you without even understanding why. It's not your clothes. It's not your smile. It's the way you're no longer trying. You no longer ask, "What does he want from me?" You ask, "Does this feel right in my body? Does this connection honor my nervous system? Can I be fully myself here without shrinking? And when you start asking those questions, you stop entertaining situations that only feed your old wounds. You stop engaging with attention that costs you your peace. You stop romanticizing the potential of a man who's still undecided about your value. You don't need him to be sure about you because you're finally sure about yourself. And that clarity, that's the very thing he's been chasing in all the wrong places. You're not the fantasy. You're the mirror, the one who holds up the truth, without fear, without apology, without needing to be saved. You've become the one who doesn't chase, not because you're cold, but because you've realized that love, real love, doesn't require you to abandon yourself to receive it. He starts to see it now, that the attention he gave to everyone else was transactional, but what he felt with you was transformational. You didn't try to impress him. You didn't market yourself like a brand. You simply embodied something he rarely encounters. A woman who is already whole. And wholeness is magnetic. It's mysterious. It's irresistible. Because deep down, he's not looking for someone who needs him. He's looking for someone who sees him without disappearing in the process. And now that you've stepped fully into yourself, your rhythm, your knowing, your power, you've become unforgettable, not because of what you gave, but because of what you stopped giving. You stopped giving your energy to indecision. You stopped giving your peace to confusion. You stopped giving your worth to people who needed you to dim in order to feel bright. And in that shift, that one quiet shift, you did the one thing that changed everything. You stopped trying to be chosen and started living like someone who chooses. That's why he can't move on. That's why he feels you in every silence. That's why, no matter who he entertains, there's a part of him still reaching for what you carried so effortlessly. Your wholeness. That's the moment it happened. The moment you became the one. Not because you made him choose you, but because you didn't need him to. And that's when he knew he won't want anyone else.